We're back working on our Subaru Forester project car over here. We're going to switch things up a little bit, and it should be exciting. So after doing some thinking, I decided to make some changes to our plans. Now, for those of you that have been following along this project from day one, from the first episode, the first thing I want to do, I want to thank you. The second thing, and the whole reason for this rant, is I'm sure you can recall me sharing the vision for this project and the stages in which I was going to make it happen. You know, the stages for each of the mods, or group of mods, or category of mods, or whatever you call it. Well, I decided to change some of that. Now, the vision for this project has not changed at all. We're still on track to making one badass Subaru Forester. However, what did change is the sequence in which we're going to make things happen. I originally wanted to do the cosmetic stuff first, you know, do all the mods, then do the mechanical stuff, and so on and so forth. And when everything's done, I wanted to get it into the paint booth and get everything primed and painted. Now, things have changed a little bit because we do have access to more space at the shop, so I can bring parts of the car or the whole car to the shop. So since my OCD is kicking in, I decided that I don't want to look at the front end unfinished anymore. So what I want to do before starting on the rear end, and I have a lot of things lined up for the rear end. I bought bumpers, have a lot of cool ideas, I bought panels, and there's a lot of cool stuff planned for the rear end. However, before we get to that, what I want to do, I want to finish the bodywork on the front end. I want to prime it and paint it. And we're going to start today's episode by getting the front end of the car ready to be primed. And what that means basically is simply taking care of all of the imperfections that were left from the rough bodywork that we did in the previous episodes. And after we're done with that, we can start tearing it apart. It's another beautiful day, and we're going to start the day off by priming our custom front bumper. So it's another beautiful day, and we've made some progress on our Subaru. We primed and sealed our front bumper. We removed our fenders, but we're not going to get to them just yet. What we need to take care of first, if you can recall in previous episodes, we did the collision repair. We replaced the radiator support and some other front end components. So we got to get those ready for primer. So just some light body work and all that stuff. And once we're done with that, we can move on to our fenders. So let's get to it now. So we have made some progress. We've actually primed all of the radiator support components that we replaced when we did the collision repair. And we also primed all of the brackets for the fender. So we're just gonna finish up here so that we can move on to working on priming and sealing our actual fenders. So we finally got our radiator support components painted, but we can't start the reassembly process just yet. There's one more thing we need to do first. So what we need to do next is basically make the car look more factory. And what the factory does is they spray this matte black paint over the radiator support components, the ones that are facing outwards towards the bumper. This way the color doesn't shine through the openings in the bumper, and it just makes it look a little better, I guess. So let's do that now. So we finally got the radiator support components fully sprayed out. We have that matte black on there. Everything has cured and it's ready for reassembly. Now, we're not going to reassemble the entire car, not in this episode. Some of the other panels still need, base color, pearl, and clear, so they're not fully painted. But as far as everything underneath the panels, everything is ready. So everything is ready to be put back together. So at this point, what I'm going to do, we're going to put back all of the accessories we removed, all the little bracketry. We're going to put the radiator back in. Basically get it ready for when we're ready to put the panels back on the car. Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask, aren't you going to do the drivetrain mods and stuff like that? It is coming, but for now I just want to reassemble everything as it was factory and basically get it ready to put on all the panels once they're painted, that is. So let's get to it. And now that we're done with that, we can move on to working on our fenders and all the other panels that we fabricated earlier. We're mainly going to be priming and sealing, basically getting it ready for base coat. It's another beautiful day and we've made some good progress with our fenders. They're actually primed and sealed. So is our front bumper. So those front end components are basically ready for paint, for the base coat, but we're not going there just yet. What I want to do next is finish up some light body work on the hood that we fabricated in the earlier episodes, and hopefully get it all primed and ready for color. That way we can start painting all the panels together. Fingers crossed. At this point, the top of the hood is basically ready. It's ready to be sealed, and it's ready for the base coat. I checked to make sure there's no low spots. Obviously, I'll check again once we seal the whole thing, but I don't want to get to that just yet. I still want to address the underside of the hood and kind of work out all the imperfections that were left off from when we installed that hood scoop, and just make it basically more aesthetically pleasing, and get it primed and seal the whole thing. So the time is here. The moment that I have anticipated for the last few months is finally here. We have crossed a pretty significant milestone in this build. At least significant for me with my obvious, limitations and stuff. We have finally got every front end panel ready for base coat. This means the front end, the front wide body front fenders have been primed and sealed. They're ready for base coat. The custom hood with the hood scoop is also ready for base coat. So is our WRX STI style bumper that is also ready to be painted. Along with all the other little bits and pieces, basically the entire front end is ready for color and clear. It took us, it took a while to get here, but we're finally here. And at this stage, we can do more fun things. I'm sure no one enjoys seeing me sand for hours at a time. That's not interesting. But we can do, now we have an opportunity to do stuff that is more interesting. And what I have in store for the next episode is we're going to put this thing together. So we're not going to paint it, not yet. I know we painted the radiator support components and all of that, but I have good reason why we don't want to paint any of the front end panels. And that is pretty simple. Basically, it's bad practice to paint one part of the car while you're working on another part. Generally, because the paint is kind of soft, if you're working on another car, people are passing by, it's very easy to brush up against the paint, create a little scratch or blemish, and then you have other problems to deal with. So to avoid that headache, I'm just going to put the front end together with the primed and sealed parts. That way we get an idea how it's going to look like when it's all said and done. If there's any kind of imperfections, it will give us an opportunity to work on them before the car gets, painted. So that's what we're going to do in the next episode. Also, in the next episode, I will reveal the next little project that we're going to be tackling for this car. So please stay tuned. If you enjoy watching these videos, please subscribe. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.